Well, hey guys, you're going to notice a distinct lack of your old buddy Uncle Ziggy's voice, and that is because he will not be joining us today. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Poor little fella got hit by a car. Now, he is doing okay now, but as you might imagine, he was not up for recording. And I'm not going to give you a lot of the details. I'm going to save that for him. That's his story to tell. However, I will tell you, I think it's fantastic that my little buddy moved down to Florida and immediately had to start using a walker and an old person's toilet seat. Maybe that shouldn't be as funny to me as it is, but it's certainly, I'm going to laugh at his pain. But no, he's doing great, as good as you can be for being hit by a car. And also, we recorded last week, and Nick and I were gone for Turkey Day, so things happen, and just got back, and here we are. We hung out and up in Chicago, and had a good time up there with some friends, and got to spend about 3.5 hours at the Magic Lounge. The Chicago Magic Lounge. That's what I did. Watching card tricks and drinking way too expensive booze. But thanks to the Chicago Magic Lounge for putting up with us for that long. It was fun. Get a chance, go check it out. They let you cuss a lot. It's fun. It's a good time. It's a good time. Also, got to eat some real good food, and now I can barely walk. So, anyway, guys, this episode, as always, brought to you by spliffsociety.org, and I'm not going to do the read this week. Just go to their website, check it out, buy some stuff. They got some cool new products. Use the promo code Zig and Larry, all caps. But yeah, we're just going to do kind of a clip show, a little vault show this week. From the vaults in, because, I'm not going to force poor Zig into recording, and he would probably not be too patient with my normal brand of bullshit. So this is what you're getting this week. I'm going to shut up. We'll get it started. So here we go. Thanks for joining us as always. Check it out. I don't know what's going to happen for next week's show. We may have a Zig. We may have a special guest host. It may just be me talking at you. Okay, I would never do that to you. That's so wrong. Anyway, let's open up the vault doors and head on in. Find you guys a little something fun to listen to this week. Thanks again.
Bad call, but go for it.
Oh, baby.
So we're just gonna jump right into it, huh?
Something's gonna get real fucked up.
We are drinking whiskey.
I put gin on top of my gin.
Giggling about bullshit. Shape your nutsack to play it with the boys? Oh my god, we're recording.
I'm trying to fill the void.
That's what you want, an alabaster smooth penis.
Zig and Larry ignore a topic. I wore shorts because it was so hot, and I was like, you may be asking yourself, and I had a Hawaiian shirt on, and you may be asking yourself, what type of business casual is this? Well, this business casual is Coke dealer. Coke dealer in the Keys on a Friday.
It don't get much more casual than that. That's like one step away from coma casual.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a gown open in the back. That's all this is.
That's a good way to describe our relationship.
Just a gown open in the back. And the front.
It's not a gown, really. It's a poncho that's 3 sizes too small and nothing underneath.
So, with a self-made slit. Just,
yeah.
So,
God, all the good band names. Self-made slit.
Self-made slit. I was about to say that was my whole cover band in the 90s.
Yeah, they do a lot a lot of county fairs now, but a lot.
Yes, yeah.
They're all over the Dakotas.
All the Dakotas.
Mm-hmm. Every single one.
Man has penis grown on his arm after losing genitalia to sepsis. Quote.
Hold on. There's no way I heard all of that correctly after the first half of that sentence. I tuned out, and I'm sure I misheard.
Man has penis grown on his arm.
Grown?
After losing genitalia to sepsis. Sepsis, if you don't know, is a bacterial infection of the blood. For anybody that doesn't know. Here's the quote from this man at the top of this story. When I saw my penis go black, I was beside myself. It was like a horror film, says Malcolm McDonald. He's from the UK.
Oh, I was going to say, tell me he's related to Michael McDonald, because I'm going to come up with a song. I don't know what it is yet. I'm going to need to write it down. I'm going to need a pen and paper in about 2 hours, but I'll come up with something. I'm going to steal the tune, obviously.
After a severe sepsis infection caused the loss of his genitalia, a 45-year-old man has become the first to have a new, quote, bionic penis grafted onto his arm. Malcolm McDonald, a mechanic from Norfolk, was due to have the new appendage attached to his genital area in 2018.
This is okay. All right. There's a lot of ins and outs of this story.
This is from this month. This story. So he's had a crank on his arm for 2 years. A series of delays resulted in him living with the genitalia on his arm for the past 4 years.
What the fuck are you talking about, sir?
The new penis was created by... Who cares?
If this came from, Cranked magazine, I'm going to be so pissed.
Nope. This is from The Independent from the UK, but there's actually... there's several American news sources. I just wanted to get it straight from the horse's poorly dentitioned mouth.
Yeah, they can't even figure out dental work over there. They're slapping penises on people's arms and forgetting about it for 4 years.
He was elated to have a, quote, chance at a new start, and hoped it would boost his self-confidence, as well as enable him to do, quote, simple things, like using the loo.
I can see where taking the cock off of your bicep and putting it onto your crotch might be a bit of a morale boost.
It's on his forearm.
No!
Alright, buddy.
Is there a picture? Don't.
Oh, there's not a picture. I got a video for you.
Wait a second. So, talk to me about growing on his arm. Are we talking like the people who are growing human ears on mice? Like that kind of a thing?
Essentially, yes. Let me get back. Let me send this video to you.
Why his forearm? Why not? There are so many questions. I need somebody write this down. I need a secretary. Maud, get in here. Take a letter. I need notes. I need bullet points.
The procedure involved taking a flap of skin containing blood vessels and nerves from his left arm and rolling it into a phallic shape.
Hold on. Hold on. You just sent me this thing. Okay, let me before I actually watch this video, let's just concentrate on what's happening to me right now. I mean, I feel like it's happening to me. This poor guy.
Yeah, what's happening to you? Here's the thing. I had sympathy for him until I read further into this whole thing, and I'm like, why would you allow... Okay, hold
on. Okay, you've read this whole thing, so I know you're not the doctor that worked on it. But I do have a couple of questions that I want to hit before we go on.
Okay.
First off, the guy got septic. Okay. You don't really see that much anymore. That's basically when you got gut shot in the Old West. Your wound went septic, you die. I get it. Was it somehow only centered on his wang?
It was a perineal infection.
Okay.
So
he had
again,
so he had a septic taint,
yeah, his taint went septic.
and it affected his dick. Okay.
Yes, though we get into that in the story.
Oh, God, save your questions to the end, Ziggler, always. Okay, go ahead.
All right, let me. I do want to say that let's see, it involved rolling the skin into a phallic shape. They created a urethra and inserted 2 tubes connected to a pump that it would allow him to achieve a, quote, mechanical erection.
Please don't mistake my silence for anything more than shock.
Okay. The new penis was then detached from the forearm, allowing it to dangle and grow skin and tissue on its own. So when you watch the video, you'll see some scarring on his forearm. So it was there. So it was like the ear growing on a mouse.
Uh-huh.
But then it was surgically cut back so that it could just essentially grow into a. It's actually a pretty good looking unit. I'm not gonna lie. It's a decent looking unit.
Okay, I'm not even close to being able to comment on the artist's rendering right now. So just to catch up, he got a septic infection on his taint for reasons I don't even care right now.
Lost his penis after struggling with a perineum infection,
right,
which spread to his extremities, and he was left, quote, completely gutted after his appendage, quote, dropped off onto the floor.
You know, I don't like going to the doctor. But certain times, I think that I would be smart enough to go, I mean, before my dick fell off. You think there'd be signs? There'd be signs.
Yeah, for one, he had the perineum infection. His fingers and toes started turning black.
Right.
Which should give you a sign, hey, maybe I should take a day off work and head down to the clinic. Because it's the UK and they have fucking healthcare.
Okay, right. Well, yeah.
But then this guy says, I knew deep down it was gone, and I was going to lose it. Then one day it just dropped off onto the floor.
Yeah.
You would, I know, I don't go to the doctor if I can help it. But if my fingers and toes started turning black,
and it originated from around my cock,
yeah, I'd be like, hey, maybe I should head on down to the doctor. I don't care if it's even one of the, like an English country doctor that still wears the plague mask and goes,
whatever you got, if it's a shaman, fine, whoever.
Just a fistful of leeches thrown at my crank.
Overhand. Actually, that was probably a better call than waiting for it to fall off.
Yeah, because then the leeches are actually going to suck out the infection.
Okay. And so then some manner of plastic surgeon / visionary, the Elon Musk of Wang creation, takes basically some skin, turns it into a fruit roll-up of a cock, inserts plastic tubing in it that will end up going into the ground, so it's going to be safe for turtles. Don't worry about that.
Right.
And then finds from the 90s, one of those Reebok pump shoes.
Yeah.
And then puts the little squeezy ball in and or around somewhere.
Yep. They just Franken-cranked him.
And they're cobbling this together. Like, they saw a problem, they looked around the shop and said, what do we got? But they put it on his forearm to grow.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you put it on your thigh if you need to put it somewhere to grow? Why would you immediately put it somewhere where this guy's like, hey, guess what? I hope you like long sleeves in the summer because you're not going to be allowed in Denny's with this.
I don't know. If I had a dick on my arm, I think they'd let me into anywhere I wanted to go.
And then, due to setbacks, 4 years?
Well, he lost his dick 6 years ago. Well, I can't say he lost it. He knew exactly where it was when it ended up on the floor.
Yeah, no. If you lose your dick, you better be talking about a bar fight or just a tussle with a timber wolf. Something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or you didn't pay off Big Frankie in time. That's how you lose your dick. If it just drops off onto the floor, you have made the mistakes.
You've neglected it. You don't deserve it.
Correct.
That's like when you let a pet starve to death.
And the ASPCA says, guess what? You're not allowed.
Where's Sarah McLaughlin for this guy's poor dick?
Another song I have to write. God damn it, Maude! Are you taking notes? Jesus Christ. What'd you bring for show and tell? Uncle Paul's weird dick arm. Who wants to pump it? Why? So he can point at you and at the ceiling at the same time. Okay, so itty bitty bit of context. Do you remember Rax? R-A-X? Fast food joint.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They had him in Illinois. They had him. One around me growing up, but like in Peoria, so not terribly close. Excuse me. It was like it's like an Arby's kind of, but like they were in the 70s, 80s, and they went tits up in the 90s. But it was like a adult fast food joint was their shtick. They did roast beef sandwiches, and they did. They had a. Remember back when buffets were a thing, 12 months ago, but when fast food joints... Like
of course I remember when buffets were a thing. Look at me.
Remember when fast food joints attempted to do all-you-can-eat bars, like all-you-can-eat salad bars?
Uh-huh.
Rax went a little bit nuts. In their place where you get they don't have curly fries, they have twisty fries.
Okay, all right.
But they have an all-you-can-eat salad bar, and then they added pasta, and then they added pizza. So it's all-you-can-eat carbon salad bar. And they did a lot of really bad advertising, but it was the late 80s, early 90s. But do you remember any of the ads, and do you remember Mr. Delicious?
I don't.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. So I'm going to say 4 of these. Mr. Delicious, I'm gonna give you a little bit of context because you can't see it. It was a spokesman, okay? It was an advertising campaign, like Tony the Tiger, Mr. Delicious. He's a cartoon. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. You're probably not.
Okay, there he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mr. Delicious, he's a cartoon. He's black and white. He kind of looks like, and I don't remember the guy's name, but he kind of looks like the guy who did A Prairie Home Companion.
Garrison Keillor. Yes.
Yeah, Garrison Keillor. With a briefcase that says Mr. D. And
oh, no.
He is the spokesman for Rax.
Okay.
Now, is it coincidence that they went tits up a year after they rolled out Mr. D? Is it a coincidence that Mr. Delicious only has a handful of ads? Is it a coincidence that we're going to love him? I don't know, because I'm not a doctor. But here is the very first TV ad for Mr. Delicious, okay? Give it a moment. I want you to take it all in, and we will discuss. Let me know if you can hear this here.
Hello, I'm Mr. Delicious,
You hear that?
the new spokesman for Rax Restaurants. My job? To encourage you to enjoy tasty, affordable meals in a more mature dining environment. I know what you're thinking. He's a cartoon, and cartoons are mostly for people who wet their pants. But not Mr. D. He's a special cartoon for adults. And Mr. Delicious always carries his briefcase. Contents? Watch for me and visit Rax. Dickety-dee.
Okay, so that's how you introduce Mr. Delicious.
Wait, what was the last thing he said? Dickety D?
That is something I would like to bring up with Mr. Delicious. There's a whole lot of fucking mystery around Mr. Delicious. He's like, Mr. Delicious always has his briefcase. What's his briefcase? Stick around. Diggity D. That's terrifying.
No.
Terrifying in the best possible way.
That's some Quentin Tarantino. What's in Marcellus Wallace's briefcase bullshit?
Marcellus
Diggity D. No, I'm not gonna diggity your D. No, thank you, Mr. Delicious.
TV in the Midwest. Rax at this point, I don't know if at this point, but at one point they had 500 stores in the U.S. There are currently now 3. One of them is not terribly far from me in Joliet, but they're privately owned. You know what I mean? Like the corporation is gone. And Mr. D did a whole lot. I love this one because he introduces everybody. That stupid like elevator music in the background. He's middle-aged.
Yeah.
He's a middle-aged spokesman who is a black and white cartoon who acknowledges that he's a cartoon and says cartoons are typically for people who wet their pants, not Mr. D.
You know, I know why it didn't work out, because there's enough of us from the Midwest that had an uncle who looked very similar to that referred to himself as Mr. Delicious. And none of us have good memories of him. So no, I don't want to know what's in your Diggity D briefcase, because I've already seen it.
I'm going to tell you, after a couple of more spots, you might be curious about what's in this briefcase.
Well, hit me. You know what? This is exactly why I ended up in the back of that van. Let's go.
So good. So I've got 3 more ads I want to play for you. And these were radio ads, back when radio advertising was a thing. So they could pay for a minute at a time. So there's no cartoon to show you. So this is just like, okay, so this is, yeah, in my favorite order. First of 3 radio ads.
Okay.
Hello there. I'm Mr. Delicious, the new cartoon spokesman for Rax Restaurants. My job, to encourage you to enjoy tasty, affordable meals in a more mature dining environment. You see, Mr. Delicious doesn't appreciate unnecessary commotion while he's eating. It brings out the dangerous, hostile side in Mr. D. At least that's what his analyst says. Anyway, at Rax, Mr. Delicious can enjoy a tasty sandwich or salad without bright yellow formica upsetting his stomach. He can rest his feet on carpet, since Rax has confidence that Mr. D won't drop his twisty fries. He can lose himself in a cheap romance novel without his elbows sticking to the table. And Mr. Delicious always leaves Rax with a few bucks left. That's just grand, because his analyst charges a lot to keep Mr. D's hostility all locked up. So if you're looking for a stress-free fast food alternative, visit Rax and tell him Mr. Delicious sent you. Diggity D.
Diggity D.
Did you catch the tagline, by the way? Well, how they were doing the tagline after Diggity D? The tagline for the restaurant was Rax, you can eat here. That was their catchphrase. That was their Nike just do it. You can eat here.
You can
so
eat
you
here.
Eat here.
It sounds like more like a threat than it does anything else. You can eat here.
Bathroom, you can shit here too.
There's a stall. You can have privacy and jerk here too.
I have a feeling that whoever's writing these is going down a rabbit hole. It is phenomenal. That was so much just obvious hostility.
That's a guy that hates children. He's got a windowless van, and he's taking care of what he refers to as the scourge of society.
He's taking get off my lawn to the next level. He's not touching kids. He's hitting them with a fucking pipe.
My lawn is the entire planet.
According to this ad, he likes walking on carpet because he knows that goddamn snot-nosed little children will be dropping ketchup and fries on the floor, and he appreciates the fact the good people at Rax trust him enough to not make a mess while he's eating, while he's watching his trashy romance novels for some fucking reason. And I love that sticky, what do you say, horrible yellow formica.
Yeah.
He's basically just doing a big fuck you to McDonald's and saying that my elbows stick to the table because everything's disgusting with children.
Children are gross. Eat at Rax.
And tell me this is coming through, that you can hear all this. He said he likes Rax because they have a reasonably priced menu, because his analyst charges a lot to keep his anxiety and hostility all bottled up. The goal of Mr. D's therapy is just to cork his anger and violence.
It's not to even treat it, it's just keep it down.
We are not trying to cure this man. We are just trying to keep him away from society. We know he's going to pop, but we can't put him in jail for a future probable crime. So we're going to pay an analyst
Well, this isn't a Tom Cruise movie. We can't anticipate his crime. We know it's going to happen. We have a squad car on him at all times.
Picture blowing up a gigantic red balloon. This red balloon demonstrates and represents Mr. D's diggity goddamn hostility towards children and the rest of the world. It keeps when it blows up, and it's like, oh, you know it's about to pop? The analyst's job is to suck out just enough air that it doesn't explode. The rage is still there.
They hired Michael Douglas's character from Falling Down.
Complete with the horn-rimmed glasses.
Horn-rimmed glasses and a briefcase full of guns.
And a briefcase full of, huh?
Diggity D, I want breakfast for me.
It could be razor blades. It could be condoms covered in glass and just small shards.
Just dildos with nails through them.
Oh, yeah. So let's take another quick trip. We got 2 more of these that I'd like to do. By the way, Mr. D, I could only find online 7 total ads. That's as far as Mr. D got before Rax went, you know what? Bankruptcy sounds nice. Anybody else? Yeah, we did this.
7 ads before the incident.
There's also, you and I should just get together and watch this, even over Zoom. I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to do it with you. We could review it. There's a 15-minute documentary, not unlike the Mario Lopez goddamn thing for KFC, where it's just, but this is from the 80s, where they talk about Mr. D and how much of a success he is. It's like a documentary / advertisement, 15 minutes that they put out. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm so interested. I waited for you like Christmas fucking morning. Like, my mom always just gets so pissed at me if I snuck down to open presents without her watching. I felt like that. I'm like, I want to watch this, but if I do it without Larry, he's going to be upset. I love to do it. Because I know you're going to love Mr. D. Here's number 2 of the radio ads. Here we go.
Well, hello. Remember me? I'm Mr. Delicious. Did you know the Rack's Value menu features a full array of adult-sized delectables for only 99 cents each?
Oh.
That's right. And Mr. Delicious can really appreciate a bargain like that. After all, he's still trying to recover from that bout with midlife crisis in '89. Fortunately, he was able to sell the Porsche back to the dealer. But much to his chagrin, Mr. Delicious discovered that custom-designed hair weaves are non-refundable. Same for the rotating disco glitter ball he installed in the basement. And that vacation he took to Bora Bora with those 2 young friends, well, that left Mr. Delicious feeling empty and unfulfilled. Unlike the robust sandwiches, baked potatoes, and refreshing drinks on the Rack's Value menu for only 99 cents
Listeners,
each.
Larry is dying.
Diggity D. Value menu.
Diggity D, I probably had gay sex, is what that fucking boiled down to.
Rex, you can eat there, goddammit. So let's unpack number 2. So Mr. D is I'm considering this a journey that we're taking with Mr. Delicious.
I'm concerned for Mr. Delicious. I have legit worries about this poor man.
The more you say Mr. Delicious, the worse it sounds listening to these. Because I can say, remember Mr. Delicious? He was a cartoon spokesman for a fast food chain in the 80s. That doesn't sound weird at all.
No.
Listen to a few of these ads and keep saying Mr. Delicious. And it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Here's what bothers me.
Mr. D went through some shit in this episode. In this ad, he went through a fucking...
He sold back the Porsche so that he could take 2 child friends to Bora Bora. It's very vague. I'm assuming it's some type of Laotian child bride situation.
He took 2 young whores to Bora Bora.
I took 2 young friends and a large dog cage to Bora Bora.
You can eat here?
No.
That pause. 2 young
friends. Jesus.
Oh, God.
That's what's in his goddamn briefcase, are those 2 young friends.
Oh, God, that's just like... The problem is that you always knew that Vincent Price was joking. You don't know that Mr. Delicious is.
Mr. Delicious is straight up not joking.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Delicious is actually Bob Odenkirk's character in that new movie that's coming out where he's a badass.
Yeah, who hired Bob Odenkirk as an action star? Brilliant idea.
I love it.
Yeah. I
But
can't wait to...
holy shit. So
So, in our attempt to sell you roast beef sandwiches for $1 a pop, Larry, this is what we've done.
and a baked
We hired
potato.
a middle-aged gentleman and a baked potato, and all you can eat pasta from a fucking bar for pennies on the dollar. We've hired this gentleman, and this is a radio ad. This is drive time. You're going to or from work. We're trying to get you to pull the car over between your place of employment and your home to pick up some fucking twisty fries. And here's what we've come up with. Mr. D's upset. He's got bottled up anger. He took 2 child whores to Bora Bora, which also upsets me because that's right next to Tahiti, which is where I took my honeymoon. And I really don't want to really upset that. Tahiti and Marina, we had a great time. Bora Bora was on the list. I'm kind of glad we didn't. I mean, it just
You'd have ran into
now,
Mr. Delicious in his
years later.
briefcase.
God. And it left him feeling empty inside. It left him feeling unfulfilled, or whatever it says. So he took 2 child whores on vacation, banged the hell out of them, and what happened to them? Did they come back?
No. If they did, they were in the briefcase. And let's face it, in the late 80s, early 90s, no one was checking anything on an airplane.
Oh, this is long before 9/11. You could get on board with a broken bottle, you don't even need the phrase emotional support animal. It could just be a snake, like a poisonous snake that you have in your hand.
Just an AK-47 around your neck, just hanging from a strap, and people are just like, "Sir," and be like, "I have a permit." And they're like, "Oh, he's got a permit. Go on, Mister. Oh, you're Mr. Delicious. I'm so sorry."
This is my attack wombat and my 2 Laotian child whores. Will the child whores fit in the overhead compartment? Absolutely, if you bend them enough.
And trust me, I did.
Jesus Christ.
What?
We're going to do one more.
In the
We're going to do one more.
There was one other thing that I mean, there's a lot that bothers me about this, but what I was going to say, Zing, is in the late 80s, early 90s, though, because at first I'm like, who's going to relate to this and be like, this is where I want to stop? But how much repressed everything did adult middle-aged men have
Obviously.
in the late 80s and early 90s? That they're going to hear this and be like, that's where I want to get a baked potato and a cup of black coffee.
That is a very good point. That being an asshole, I never would have come up with, and you being a decent human being, you have. It's like you're trying to figure out, how did these horrible advertising people get in the minds of the average middle-aged man 20 to 30 years ago? It's like, well, he was very sad. He wasn't allowed to show emotion, and it came out in certain ways. He had child whores, he drank a lot, he hit people, and then apologized for them. So we lean on that to get him to buy a roast beef sandwich? Yes, absolutely. Very good.
Here's when the Racks drive-through knew when to call the cops. If they order baked potato, black coffee. Okay, would you like anything on that baked potato? No. Just a plain baked potato.
Don't cut it down the middle.
Just leave it in the foil.
Eats it like an apple. No salt.
None.
It's the middle-aged 80s man equivalent of cutting. Is eating an unsalted plain baked potato. You know it's bad for you. You know it sucks, but you have to do it just to release the anger.
Johnny Cash's version of Hurt starts playing if they just take a bite. I hurt myself today. Nom nom.
I use whiskey and meth to forget about the 2 people I left in Bora Bora.
My God.
And if we're going down that road, this is very similar, and you're onto something. Here's the last one I'm going to do. From Diggity D, Mr. Delicious. You can eat here. This is how we're going to get you to come into our spot. All right?
All right. I'm ready.
This one's... I might have done this in the wrong order, but this is like the denouement. This is the return to stasis for you and I.
Okay.
Buongiorno. Mr. Delicious here to talk about the Rack's endless salad bar with new all-you-can-eat pizza and pasta. You know, Mr. Delicious stayed out a little too late last night, and he isn't feeling very well. So it's a good day for carbohydrates. Pizza and pasta will do the trick. Of course, having a wide selection of pizza is helpful on a day when Mr. D is having trouble focusing. He's bound to grab a slice of something tasty. And if you've ever enjoyed 2-for-1 night at the Rusty Anchor, you know how dehydrated Mr. D must be. Some free Coke refills will hit the spot. Plus, enjoying a long leisurely dinner at Rack's will help him avoid the wrath of Mrs. Delicious, who isn't very fond of the Rusty Anchor. In any case, next time you feel like Mr. D, try a heaping plate of pizza and pasta from the Rack's Endless Salad Bar for only $3.99. Tickety-dee.
Pizza and pasta available at participating restaurants. Rax, you can eat here.
Okay, first.
You can eat here. You don't have to. You probably should. So yeah.
No, I gotta make this point. They used the word Coke on purpose instead of Coca-Cola.
You're most likely not wrong.
2, the Rusty Anchor, definitely a gay bar for closeted middle-aged men.
Okay, so I almost went there too, but help me out. Because why do we think that? Because I went there too, but I could not quantify why I hear a place that could possibly be called the Rusty Anchor, and I'm thinking it is a gay bar for men on the down low. Why?
Because, especially during that time, you weren't men of that age. It was so unheard of to be gay, and it was less manly to be gay.
No. Yeah, but why?
Because I think Rusty Trombone.
Oh.
Not that the Rusty Trombone can't be a straight thing, trust me. But
Love. But
love it.
What was the name of the? Oh no, I was thinking of Police Academy. That was called the Blue Oyster Bar. Mm-hmm. The same general idea of like of the where they went way over the top, and everybody was dressed like the Village people in there for some reason. Yes. Whoever did that like had no idea what a gay bar looked like. But why?
There were a lot of leather daddies, and I've been in that bar.
Rusty Anchor, is it like a sailor reference maybe from the 80s? I don't know, because I thought the same way too.
Yeah, I immediately assume that the reason Mr. Delicious, which is exactly what a guy now would have on his Scruff account, so that no one identified him by his real name.
I don't know. I would put it on the back of my intramural softball fucking shirt when I'm running around in June. Like, who's that? It's Mr. Delicious. He plays shortstop when he's sober enough to do so.
Diggity dee.
Diggity dee, you can eat here.
Diggity dee, throwing it to 3.
But yeah, I thought the same thing, especially when you start talking about how Mrs. Delicious hates the Rusty Anchor.
Yeah.
Like, so Mr. D, the 2 people you took to Bora Bora, they were born with penises. They are clean, they are smooth downstairs, but that's where. And now what you do is you have drunk away all of the feelings, all of the thoughts, all of the emotions. You have put them in booze, and you've swirled them around
and into your briefcase.
In your never-ending pasta bar from 1987, which I'm assuming is 2 steps lower than Chef Boyardee is now, and the pizza is top-notch, obvi, because that's why they're still in business. And
do you feel like Shoney's is too fancy? Then come on down to Rack's and have a pile of pizza with Mr. D.
It feels like they just needed a little bit more punctuation towards the end of Mr. D's career with a question mark. Just, you can eat here? So, Daddy is no longer ashamed of me, so he let me be on his other show.
That's right, baby girl. You did a good job.
Did I good?
Yeah, you were so pretty. You were so pretty on that show.
Did I dance pretty?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
You ignorant fuck. What's more to the brewster, friends?
Top of the hill, tuk.
Don't worry, I will be the one with all of the praise.
I don't remember what... It was a rock club. You and Jeff went to some rock club. And we were going back to hang out with one of Jeff's friends at their apartment after this show. and we were walking, and had to go up to the top of this tall hill. And I don't remember what part of Chicago we were in. It doesn't matter. But you looked at me and you were like, there's no way I'm walking to the top of this hill. And I went, get on my back. I'll get you up there. And so you jumped on my back, lit a cigarette, and screamed, to the top of the hill, tuk-tuk. And I ran us through a crowd of people to the top of the hill, just speaking in some incoherent language I was making up. And you were just going, he's the best Sherpa in the business.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And we're getting really deep.
Let's get
really deep.
Let's get real deep. I'm going to get close to my microphone and get real deep. This is...
Give me 2 fingers, 3 knuckles.
And relax. And relax.
Can't relax.
No.
You can tell me to relax. I can't relax.
If I stroke the back of your head, here we go.
That's worse.
Just let it in.
Just force it. Just force it.
Well, okay, here you go.
Ah! And now we're at 6th grade chemistry.
Thank you, Doctor.
Well, we have to talk about the fact that on Lifetime, they released a 15-minute mini-movie, because what the fuck does that mean?
It's, again, I will not fault them, because that is the perfect movie for my attention span. Thank you for listening to Convince Me with Larry Smith.
Thank you for listening to him saying, "Convince me," Larry Smith.
On the Front Row Network in NPR, Illinois.
On the Front Row Network, and something other that I said, NPR.
Welcome to...
No, take this seriously.
ASMR NPR.
Mm-hmm.
ASMNPR.
We're doing it.
We are doing it so good.
Great.
Electric. Kumquat. Differential. Snickers bar. I have no idea. I don't know. I something. But we did get the chance to review the instant cinematic classic and fucking goddamn bananas. All the things I couldn't say on my other show. Fucking bananas.
A recipe for seduction.
On the Lifetime Network, brought to you by KFC, written and directed by Gene. And that's it. Just fucking Gene.
It is at 11 a.m. on a Sunday. And that's when it drops. And
yes.
I'm not going to lie, Mario Lopez, he delivered.
Mario Lopez and his dimples and that ascot. Sweet piece. I'll tell you right now. I'm not, look, my grandma always said there might have been a little sweetness in me. Mario Lopez brings it out. I'm going to tell you that right now.
That whole thing was weird.
What, that statement or the movie?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, everything about this, yes. Not your fault. Mildly Lopez's fault, but he made a lot of money, I'm guessing. So
look, that's not his fault. It's just the way God put him together.
Oh, okay. I want some.
What I couldn't say on the NPR show that I can say here is that Colonel Harlan Sanders was a fucking racist. And to have
I didn't want to do it.
a Latino is what I just fucking... Yeah. Oh, we're so drunk. A Latino man play Harlan Sanders, and then at the end, here's my favorite part. At the end, Colonel Sanders and his love interest are married by her gay best friend. And I was like, Sanders is spinning in his family bucket right now. Fuck you, you racist prick. It was amazing. It was such a bananas movie.
Wait, hold on. Mario Lopez, he's not Caucasian?
Oh no.
With a name like Mario... never mind. Go ahead.
And now we'll talk about it off the air a little bit, buddy. I've got a whole chart for you. It's my Mario Lopez through the ages chart. Don't worry about it. You're going to like it. There's some candid photos that he doesn't know about. But yeah, Harlan Sanders is hired as the cook for some rich, not so rich people. And the girl falls for him because how can you not?
You're doing a book report.
With his soul patch and that shitty mustache and the slightly gray hair and those dimples, how can you not fall for Mario Sanders, Colonel of Chicken?
Okay.
And his extra crispy crank. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Okay, so Zig, anything you'd like to add before we get into the movie review?
Oh, we're doing that again. No. You?
I don't know, make sure to like, subscribe, and rate our show.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this went from like this very insightful and heartfelt episode to let's talk about some bullshit to just us giggling at one another.
Right.
So a typical show.
Yeah, that's kind of the gist.
Yes.
Typically? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try this. Let's get in close. Get in close.
Okay.
I'm going to say a recipe, you say for seduction. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
So let's get into the movie review for a recipe.
For seduction.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh. Is it extra crispy or is it original recipe?
It's a little wet.
So original. You got it.
Yeah, that's what the collar around me keeps shocking me when you say that.
Yep. Well, your wife and I had to have that talk. So anyway, and Zig and I are here today to review
There we go.
the instant cinematic classic,
Please say it.
A Recipe for Seduction.
Oh my God, he said it. Yes.
A Lifetime original film. Mini, yes. But you know what? In those 15 minutes, it packed 3 hours of drama.
Questions?
It stars Mario Lopez.
Correct.
As Colonel Harlan Sanders.
Obviously.
And as I put it on my live reaction on the Front Row Network's Facebook page, some other people, but who cares?
I care about the one dude who played lead because he's an SNL Second City alum. But outside of that,
no. Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I'm glad you did some research on that because I was like, we stop at Mario Lopez because
I did that much.
Yeah,
so
which is reflective of our other show. Our research is a D+ effort at best. This is just we're just going to give our best review of this movie. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, for 15 minutes of script, this movie packed everything into itself that you want in a Lifetime movie, save for our friend Annie Wershing. Because at my gym, when I was...
name dropping at this point. We're name dropping people who
don't know other people.
Yes.
All right, yeah, this is everything a movie should be except for Paul Kropatski. He was the guy that fixed my pipes.
You know who I need in there? I thought you were going to say Paul Leachy, who was also a American jerk. But no, look, one of my favorite things in the world is I would get on the elliptical at my gym, and they had a bank of TVs, and at the very far right, they always had Lifetime movies, and 9 times out of 10, I could see Annie Wershing in a Lifetime movie as I'm on the elliptical, and I'd get so excited.
For those at home, she went to college with us.
And she was also on 24. She had a leading role on 24. She did a voice in The Last of Us. She has.
Oh yeah, I'm not downplaying her career.
No. I'm just. Yeah. This is for the listeners, so they know. She's that girl. She's that pretty red-haired girl. That's who she is. But this had an evil mother, not even a stepmother. Evil mom.
Named Bunny.
Controlling boyfriend. Gay best friend. And Mario Lopez as Colonel Harlan Sanders.
Obviously.
Which, when you think to yourself, Zig, Colonel Harlan Sanders, don't you think to yourself, Latin sexiness?
After watching this masterpiece, yes, sir, I do.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
Well, no, dude, okay, hold on. I went on an emotional roller coaster with this 15-minute, quote, mini-movie before it came out. What the... screw it. What the fuck is going on with this thing? It's hysterical. However, how many people had played Harlan Sanders before this in commercials?
Oh, man.
Hold on. I'm going to blow your mind. Go for it. This is like a Marvel, Infinity Stone thing I'm going to hit you with.
Was it like 10 different people?
Yeah, it was I should have done this. I just had this thought. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Name them.
Well, I know Jim Gaffigan did. Who else?
So, obviously, KFC doesn't give a goddamn who plays Colonel Sanders if it makes sense. Norm Macdonald, right?
Yes, it was mostly comedians, but yeah, Norm Macdonald, Daryl Hammond, George Hamilton,
cool.
Reba McEntire,
sure,
Rob Riggle,
got it.
Really? This is an extensive. Hold on. I'm going to go to the actual article because I'm starting to feel like. Okay.
I have trumped you, sir.
Yes,
I have trumped you on your show.
13 so far. Daryl Hammond, Norm Macdonald, Jim Gaffigan, George Hamilton, Dolph Ziggler, the wrestler, Rob Riggle, which probably the best, Vincent Kartheiser from Mad Men and also Angel. That's right, Billy Zane. I forgot Billy Zane played the Golden Colonel. Rob Lowe, Ray Liotta. I take it back. Ray Liotta was probably the best. Christopher Boyer, Reba McEntire, Jason Alexander, Sean Astin, Hafthor Bjornsson, who played the Mountain and also was the world's strongest man. RoboCop. The actual, but it was RoboCop as Colonel Sanders, played by what's his face, who Craig Fleming. Mario Lopez has now played Colonel Sanders. It is it's an impressive array of people who have betrayed Colonel Sanders.
I rest my case. This is the penultimate Marvel superhero-esque bullshit that makes you want to eat chicken, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. But you know what I love? Colonel Sanders, well-known, let's just say, Southerner, would probably not be thrilled with a Latino man playing him, and I think that's what makes it so great.
Well, I will say that Mario Lopez's acting chops have not really changed since Saved by the Bell. I think that here's the problem I have with it, man. Like,
oh, you had a problem with this?
I have no problem with it. I like it to exist as it is, but my problem is I need to understand it because I watch it with my wife. She laughed out loud 3 times. And said that was really funny. I watch it with, what the fuck is this? And I realized it's just not for me. Like, she enjoyed it. It brought her joy. She's like, yeah. Like, please tell me when it's funny. And that made sense to me because I have to tell her why I think things are funny all the time. Like, Monty Python or stuff like that. Like, why is that fun? Maybe, Larry, this is the female Monty Python.
I'm going to tell you right now, unironically, I loved it. And maybe I'm so deep in my own sense of irony because as a young Gen Xer, because we're on that very cusp.
Right, sure.
Well, we could, depending on what chart you look at, we're either the youngest Gen Xers, old millennials, or we're called Zennials, which is awful. I'd rather just be one or the other. We are... Maybe my sense of irony is so deep inside me that I don't even know what I do and don't actually like anymore.
It's possible.
But I enjoyed this for exactly what it was, which was a 15-minute... which is perfect for my attention span. 15 minutes worth of Lifetime movie schmaltz. And that had, again, evil mom, controlling boyfriend, gay best friend, hunky yet sensitive chef, played by Mario Lopez.
Yeah.
And there was so much in, like, the fact that the mom, spoiler alert, guys, the mom was actually sleeping with the boyfriend.
Spoiler alert.
She was sleeping with the boyfriend, and then they conspired together to kill Colonel Sanders.
He went from 0 to 60. I could get to bang a really hot MILF again for 3 days. And that's okay for murder? He's like, yeah, I'll do that. That's fine. Yeah, I'll kill this guy.
And I wouldn't say really hot. I'd say available. You know, that's the level of hotness he was. But
I hate when I laugh at.
What I love, I'm sitting watching. Nicole is obviously watching this with me, and when the line came up of the heart wants what it wants, and I was like, what, a triple bypass? Because it's KFC. It's a triple bypass of love. This is a spicy, it was how do I describe it? A spicy, famous bowl of seduction and betrayal. It just layer upon layer upon layer of everything that America loves. And the fact that the mom seduces the boyfriend, and then when the gay best friend confronts the mom, and she knocks him out with whatever club was just laying around the house.
I have a note about that, which I have to bring up.
Please.
So, if we're talking about plot holes, I mean, do we have to? Because I could jump in them and he'll never see me again. But it's adorable. the Bunny, who's the mom, she hit the guy Lee. She hit him with it was a fucking a polo mallet. That's what she hit him with. Okay, and she cracks him in the back of the head with a polo mallet. And then you just see her dragging him, and then cut. The same mallet is what Lee uses to assault the fiance when she goes, click, and then he knocks him out. How did he get it? What's going on with the polo mallets? How many polo mallets are there in this house? Please tell me what's happening with this goddamn movie.
This is a movie
It's a
about a Latino Colonel Sanders.
It's 15 minutes of KFC advertisement. And they spared no expense at the aging makeup on Lopez.
Just grade him up a little bit. Just enough to make him even sexier.
Just enough to just do it from a Halloween store on October 31st. It's like 15% off. Just take that. Yeah, just brush that in.
And it was obvious that mustache was just haphazardly glued on.
It might have flopped once. Like, nobody cares.
No, of course not.
Just
look, with dimples like that, who cares if you got a floppy mustache?
He's a goddamn god. No.
Yeah, he's just... he's Nashville hot, is what he is.
I think we need to redo this with a female, because we need a woman's perspective on this Lifetime 15-minute movie to tell us why we're wrong, because this is not for us.
Again, I'm in. They had me from the beginning. I don't, but you're right. We may need a female perspective. I could just...
At least I do. Yeah.
I think we need to revisit this. Absolutely. I did love, though, we had to stop. We had to stop a couple times. When he wrote the check, when the boyfriend writes the check to try and buy Harland off to get him to leave, the amount was $500,000, and the date was today's date.
Correct.
And I was like, we're seeing this in real time. What a great... I mean, honestly... What a great detail. That, and did you actually pause and look at the secret recipe?
I did not know. I did Wikipedia the secret recipe, but I did not see the secret. No.
He holds up the old battered note card, and it's got like question marks and all these diagrams, and one of the words is just salt with an underline. And I was like, that's the secret ingredient.
Possibly salt. You put salt on food?
Here's what I think the secret ingredient was. Seduction.
Oh, dude. You're so much better than that. Like, who was seduced? Like, there was no seduction. It was just, oh my good lord. And then, at the very end, the two bad guys, they just put a little bit of gray in their hair that came out of a can, and we found them. And he ate a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I loved it. But, like, it was said 1 year later.
Were they hiding?
I don't know. But that's what got me, is they're both grayed up. Like, their hair is gray, but it's only been 1 year.
Yeah, and there's no, like, makeup on their face. Just all of a sudden, for some reason, their hair has grown huge and long. And we're looking for answers where none exist. Here's the problem. Allow it to be a recipe for seduction.
And I am fine with leaving it as it is. I'm telling you, it's 15 minutes of fun. It's 15 minutes of fun. My favorite part of this whole thing, though, and I'm not joking, my favorite part of this 15-minute love story of because it has all my favorite things. Mario Lopez's dimples, bad makeup,
lackluster, but not bad,
and chicken, fried chicken.
Yeah, that was barely a part of this movie, by the way.
It had all my favorite things, But my favorite, absolute favorite part of this is that it was literally in the credits written and directed by Gene.
Gene, I did research, and I think that I have something for you.
Okay.
I did no research. I said the same thing, and my wife, who is a genius, I went on Wikipedia, okay? So it said written and directed by Gene, and I said that the same thing you did. And I went on Wikipedia, and I said written and directed by Eric Eckelman, Armand Prisco, Natalie Prisco, and she said that was EAN, Eric, Armand, Natalie. If there's a J there, it was composed by Jay Lifton. She solved the puzzle. She solved the Enigma machine. Jay Lifton, Eric Eckelman, Armand Prisco, and Natalie Prisco is Gene. Angelina Moya, my beautiful wife, solved that puzzle in like legit under 30 seconds.
Is your wife Batman? Because that was Riddler level crap that she had to
I
solve.
was so impressed. I still don't know how to like show her that.
God love her.
Yeah.
Thank her for her service.
It was so amazing. I had to write it down on this sticky note because I'm like, you're goddamn right.
Okay, real quick, we have to rate this movie, and I say we go from the lowest rating being a 3 chicken strip meal,
Okay.
to the highest rating, which is an extra crispy family bucket.
Okay.
What would you give this movie?
Well, the problem is I'm not the audience. We said this. I will give it 3 chicken strips done perfectly well with the sweet and sour sauce, which is my favorite.
Okay.
And the new fries, which I hate the old wedge fries.
Okay.
But the ones at the bottom are a little soggy, and then they put way too much ice in the Coke.
Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm going full on family feast bucket.
Oh goodness!
With the biscuits, mashed potatoes and gravy, coleslaw, the mac and cheese, the fixins of extra crispy spicy. That's the rating I'm giving it, but here's what I'm also adding. Because everyone in this movie played it completely seriously. And I appreciated that. There wasn't any tongue-in-cheek. There was no say no more, say no more. It was all just give us the script. We're just gonna play this movie. I'm adding what they no longer have on the menu, and that breaks my heart. I'm adding 3 parfaits.
Oh, all 3?
The 3 parfaits. My favorite, my sister, when I was little, one of my both my older sisters are older than I. My 2 older sisters, 13, 10, or 11 years older than me, and one of them worked at KFC in our little town, and she would bring me home the little parfaits as a treat, and she always obviously smelled like KFC, and as you can well imagine, little hilljack shoeless Larry Smith would just curl up on his big sister, eat a parfait, and tell her that she was the prettiest smelling girl in the world.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack there.
So that was the review that you heard, a very professional review on NPR, Illinois, and the Front Row Network. Zig, any final thoughts about this movie?
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think that we are the audience, and I think that we should do it again with a female comic.
I don't disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I felt like I was the audience, and Mario Lopez makes my ovaries ache.
That's what you get.
I immediately just wanted I was like, I don't know how he and I could have babies together, but I want to have some Nashville hot babies with that Colonel Sanders Latino. That's what I want.
You forced that so hard.
Yeah, the way I'm about to force myself on Mario Sanders.
Should we do that again? You want one more time? You want take two?
No, I'm good. Yeah, he's a strong guy. He can fight back, but that's only going to help me. My favorite thing in the world is when you do the silent laugh. That is my favorite thing in the world.
Oh, fuck you. I almost fucking... Oh, God. So many... Okay. So few honest laughs where I almost die. What do you want? Perfect. You got it. Oh, God. Oh.
Just a sweaty ball of man just rolling around, me trying to throw an elbow in the back of his neck.
Fuck yourself.
Oh, well, that's been our episode. This is probably my favorite episode ever.
Okay, hold on. Take your line. Larry, I love you.
I love you back.